Hi everyone.
Hello everybody.
This is Mish and
Mark.
And as usual, you know where you are. You are where we say, let's keep it real. So today we're going to be talking about some stuff that I know some people may be interested to hear about, and sometimes we have conversations with regards to first impressions when you just meet somebody, and that will be a very interesting thing to learn when you just meet someone. Maybe you might be thinking, okay, this is how they really are, and then when you find out, it's a little bit more than what you thought, or less, for argument's sake. So we're going to talk about a few things that we thought of each other when we first met. So I don't know if you watched the previous videos. We talked about the first time we had our first conversation. We actually had conversations for 8 hours on the phone. This is the first time we talked, literally.
And I never even got a word in edgewise. It was Michelle from start to finish.
And everybody knows that's not true because it's impossible for me to be talking to myself. As a matter of fact, if that was the case, I would say, well, this is not working out.
Anybody who knows me knows that I'm very quiet, reserved, and I don't have much to say.
Anyways, we beg to differ for those persons who can see us on video so far.
I think there's going to be a lot of people going, did he say that?
Exactly, because everybody see that you have been having a lot of the conversations, well, not by yourself.
I hope not.
I put some words in. But anyway, so fast forward back to November 15th, 2022.
That's correct.
Yeah, and I won't get into details what that day mean, but anyway, so you guys probably know already that we met on eHarmony, and I just wanted to point out what that day was like. Actually, I did say, I remember waking up in the morning and I said, I don't want to be alone anymore. So I didn't really say it audibly, I just kind of have that thought in my mind. It was a cool morning, and November in Canada, it's usually a little bit on the cool side. So for some reason I was cold and I felt alone. And I'm being honest. So I said, I don't want this anymore. So I didn't expect my day to end with meeting somebody at all. So anyway, so prior to that, few days before, maybe 3-4 days, I had decided I didn't want to, go through the same old, kind of medium to find someone. So I went on eHarmony and I said, okay, I'm going to give this a try. I signed up, but I really didn't subscribe. I didn't go through, paying that sum of money that, you normally do to get your profile out there. So I just kind of like nonchalantly signed up anyway. And then for some reason, the kind of responses I was getting, I didn't like it.
Did we not talk about this already in the first video?
Yeah, but this is leading to what I'm going to talk about. So anyway, so then I said,
the famous quote in our relationship is, where are you going with this?
You'll get the point. So I said to myself, I don't want to go through this anymore. So I decided, based on the responses I was getting before I was interrupted, that I didn't want to continue on eHarmony. So I was going to delete my profile. And that day, I was actually just downloading some of the different things that if you sign on to eHarmony, you know that they do like a thorough profile. And they try to give you assessments of yourself. But I'm interested in what the system had to say based on the answers that I had given the app. So I was interested to keep that information just for my own reference. The same day when I was planning to delete my profile is the day that Mr. Mark decided to go online, and he saw this, prompt, and then he clicked on my profile, reached out to me, and you probably saw in the other videos.
Well, it wasn't that quick.
Well, it went through a little bit of going through the face that you saw.
No, that's not even true. No,
what did you do?
It's inaccurate. No, what it was is when eHarmony gives you a notification, like I'm sure most dating apps do, and I had two recent ones that were remotely correlating with my prerequisites for a relationship, and for obviously for a person. And Michelle came up as one, and it was another woman I saw Michelle's profile very quickly. I was actually just getting ready to go to work, and I saw her profile. But immediately I saw her, literally her face, and I was like, wow, she's really attractive. But then I saw the word 50 under it, and I was like, or 51, pardon me, and I was like, no, this is just a bot. And anyone who's been on dating apps know what a bot is, or it's a fake profile, and so on and so forth. So I just bypassed it immediately. I went to the next lady who I found physically attractive, but then once I read her profile, she wasn't attractive to me, wasn't a match for sure. And which led me back to Michelle's, and I thought, okay, I'll just give it its due attention. And when I looked, what I noticed immediately was her profile, the information that was on the profile, and of course it was everything to do with her faith and what she wanted in a man, a godly man, and so on and so forth, and it was very in depth. So that's what
Led you down the path.
Led me down the path to investigate even more.
Yeah. So then after he wrote me a long message, as we said in the other video, and once he sent that message, I was definitely in, and I said, this guy seems serious. I really like him. He was very respectful, and that was the only kind of response I got that was worth my time. And we exchanged numbers, and that was it. We spent 8 hours that day talking, and
8 hours on that day?
yes, the same day.
Well, then I couldn't have been going to work. It must have been what day?
You were driving.
Driving?
Yeah, you were driving to New York or something. Because we only texted when you were at your apartment, and then you told me when you're on the road, you're going to call me.
Sorry, I don't forget our first conversation, but I forgot where it was, literally geographically. We were literally talking while I was driving?
Yes.
Oh, I have a headset, so relax.
Yeah, so we were talking, and I talked to you through my car because I was coming home. So you called me about 5 o'clock in the evening or afternoon.
So
and then we talked on
2 a.m.
Yes, because we talked while I was driving home. Then I got home. I was eating my dinner. I was doing all this stuff. We were talking the entire time till bedtime. We were still talking, and till about 2 a.m. And after we had the conversation, I was like, wow. And the thing about Mark, he's very in-depth. And what I like about him, he was, like I said in so many other videos, he was very transparent. So things that I found about Mark that I really liked when I just met him, he was very talkative. And I like that because I don't want to be talking about myself. Hence why you're enjoying this kind of rapport with us, because I like somebody who is more of a conversationalist as myself. And secondly, the fact that he was very transparent, he doesn't hide anything. What I also found from the very first time I met him, he had a very strong way of, like his demeanor was very strong. And I know you may be wondering, what does that mean? Well,
yeah, what does that mean?
It's when someone is talking and they don't seem like they're wishy-washy. They seem like they know what they're talking about, and they have a strong conviction in what they're saying. It's like, have you ever got someone try to sell you something and they don't even know anything about the product? Would you buy from that person? I don't think so. For me, you have to convince me. I'm not a very easy person to be convinced, you know that. It takes a lot for someone to really convince me, and especially if I already have my mindset, I don't really get convinced that easily. So that's what I like about him.
She said she wanted to marry me on the first day we met. So
that's a lie.
That doesn't mean that.
Anyways, so what was your first impression?
Really.
What was your first impression when you met me?
My first impression? Met you physically or on the
phone? No,
phone?
on the phone. So all I'm talking about is on the phone. We'll talk about when we met after in person another time.
Well, no. I mean, I was certainly surprised and relieved. Relieved based on the fact that
I wasn't a bot. That I wasn't a bot.
You weren't a bot? Yeah. That's definitely it. That's definitely a plus. Been there, done that. I was just actually moved. Actually, I was in the realm of having faith in God, that God his providence and his sovereignty over all lives. And it was amazing that as Michelle had said, we spoke for almost 8 hours. So clearly, I had lots of opportunity to ask a lot of in-depth questions, and specifically a lot of theological questions, not to see, just to make sure we are aligned theologically, but more in depth to see the genuineness of her faith. Anyone can, as anyone other would know, anyone can make claims to be a Christian, anyone can make claims to do all these things. So I kind of held her feet to the fire, so to speak. And she obviously passed with flying colors in that sense. Not that I'm an authority, but the reality is, it's actually funny I use that word, but the word of God is the authority. And if her convictions measured up to the authority of what the word says, then I knew I was in a good place to continue on with this conversation, because obviously I invested that amount of time in it. But yeah, that was something that was really, really refreshing. And to be honest, like anyone else, you get that sense of despondency. I mean, I was alone for almost 2 years until I just to kind of take a breather, and I was actually prepared to be alone, period, because I didn't know where the Lord was taking me. I mean, I am someone who appreciates being in a relationship, that being obviously a married relationship. But I mean, if God has different plans for me, He had, and I was prepared to. As my tattoo says right here, Romans 12:1 and 2. I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your body a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, which is your reasonable service. And having said that, that's what I was prepared to do. But I'm referencing just that context. So it was refreshing to find somebody on the same page. That was really, really, really good. And I could probably go on for another 20 minutes, but I don't want to.
Yeah, and also another thing I thought when I met Mark, I thought not physically meet him, but like I said, in conversation, I thought he was a nerd. Okay, but we'll talk about this.
I am a nerd. She actually thought I came with a pen pack. She saw me and she's like, "Oh my gosh," she goes, "This guy is like," because admittedly, if anyone who knows me on a personal level, I mean, it's the passion of mine to talk theology, if you will. I don't mean just for simple conversation. I mean, whatever I talk about, I'm passionate about. But at the same token, she didn't realize I had any other personality beyond maybe something.
And we'll talk about that another time.
Yeah. So when she first met me, she really thought I was like, if I can, improvise on the fly. She was like, "Hi, my name's Mark, and I'm really glad to be here. And I'm gonna comb my hair, and I wear creases in my jeans, and I'm show up for work on time. And yes, golly gee, I'm happy to be here." That kind of nerd. That's what she thought. I don't know where she got that from, but that's what she thought. So that is my worst nerd impression. But there you go, my friends.
Yeah. So I'm laughing a lot. You probably see my smile very wide, but it's good to have some impressions, and then as time goes by, then you kind of learn more about the person. And I think one of the good things is that we had the opportunity to have conversations first before we met, because we had conversations for about 4 days. And I think Mark calculated the amount of time we spent on the phone. I think it was over 80 hours in 4 days. And I was actually impressed with that, because nobody's
No, it
ever.
wasn't 80 hours in 4 days, sweetie. That's like
10 hours.
That's 20 hours a day. No,
You did. I don't remember how many hours.
It was a lot. I mean, every day, let's take a conversation for
We
the
were
next 4 or 5
spending
days. At least 6 to 8 hours every night. So you multiply that by 5, 6 times 5. Look at
I can't remember.
Probably 40 to 50. I mean, between the day that we started, let's just say into the weekend, because the weekend is when we actually met. So when we met, let's just say we logged in at least 40 to 50 hours for sure.
Yeah. So he called those speed dates. We had a lot of speed dates before we actually.
And the reason why, by the way, we didn't really meet or is actually I drive a truck for a living. So hence the beginning of the conversation when I said we were talking while I was driving. I mean, I drive a tractor trailer running back and forth down into the United States all the time. So I have my headset on, so I'm just sitting in my truck, and I have all the time in the world to talk. But speaking of talking, we're
out of time right now, so we're gonna talk about this another time. We're gonna go in some depth
get
coverage.
A quick question to me before I ask something?
No, that's it. That's it for today.
All right.
So as usual, we just want to say thank you for watching, and please like, laugh, subscribe, and comment in the chat. We appreciate all your comments so far, and we just want to share more of who we are with you, right? And as usual, we say, let's keep it real. Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.